Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. I apologize for being 4 minutes late. Today is Monday, the 29th of October. And that beep says we on the inside. So, to those who said that I am looking a little bit tired, it's been that kind of day, week, month. But, because we don't get, like normally you would get like a Sunday, and you would get your Sunday as a day of rest, but we didn't get Sunday as a day of rest because this Sunday was Jericho Projects Kids Funathon, and that is an exhausting event to host. Did that, and this is just a real busy time for me. So I'm not complaining. Some people wish they were busy, and I'm gonna start with this song.
Tell them all this thing and dirty.
For a reason.
Stink and dirty.
I'm tired, but I'm still here.
Funny. Tell them. Hey. Don't afraid them, but run for your life. Don't afraid them, they say. Don't afraid them, but run for your life. Don't afraid them. They come out of boss man. They belting like they want to bust bed. No matter what they do, me I go puncture them. When they get in like they want to come for me, so tell them come for me.
Share the video.
Right now I'm feeling the tension, and it's too much to mention. It take up all my attention. Holy day, of everything you accuse me, and all the times you abuse me, but now you cannot refuse me. Holy day, I was born in a village. I learned my upbringing, where God was forgiving, so I'm in tune with my spirit. I was born as a warrior. The father was a snake fighter, so why is that no pushover? Now we're fighting back. They come out of boss man. Give those the belting like they want to boss man.
Share the video.
No matter what they do, me I go puncture them. When they get in like they want to come for me, so tell them come for me. Tell them
We don't afraid nobody. Walk confront we.
anywhere we go, we friend no man.
Don't afraid no demon.
Tell them we don't friend nobody. All of them who want to stop me. Tell them we don't friend no woman, friend no stick and friend no demon.
Afraid nobody.
Holy day,
Share the video.
holy day, we go come out hard to fight them like we name total man. Holy day, holy day, holy day, holy day, we go come out hard to fight them like we name total man. Tell them we don't friend nobody. All them bad mind people them trying to stop me. See them with a big stick like they want pay bloody. Hit them with powder, tell them all this stink and dirty. Stink and dirty. Yes, they call me inhuman, descendant of the blue one. Yeah, and this is my dominion. Holy day, I have made preparation. I have faced tribulation. This is my decoration. Holy day, in the deep bush where I come from. Serpents and scorpions that run when they see my right hand. Hearing them for destruction. Afraid of no man and no boy and no woman, no girl and no thing. Came here to battle and fight for my life when I'm hearing them sing. They come out of boss man. Give those the belting like they want to boss man. No matter what they do, me I go puncture them. When they get in like they want to come for me, so tell them come for me. Tell them we don't friend nobody. All of them who want confront with anywhere we go, we friend no man and friend no demon. Tell them we don't friend nobody. All of them who want to stop me. Tell them we don't friend no woman, friend no stick and friend no demon. I say holy day, holy day,
Holy day.
we go come out hard to fight them like we name total man.
Go on inside. How this little party, this little 2x4 party, this little band of Norarians that is called we, all of this, you know, this political organization, the Progressive Empowerment Party, on everybody's lips. How so? How so? How this little party bothering everybody? How of every organization that exists in this country, the only politicians that they're talking about is Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP? Why? Why? They form a whole party to come and confront we. They say they know better than we. And then, well, a place play on words, they turn out to be no better than we. Because the truth of the matter is, what we do here on a night, what we do on a Saturday, what we do on a Tuesday evening at 5:30, what we do all week, what Peppers were doing in San Fernando this morning, when the mark was on the flood and we was the first one outside there serving, what we do is not just talk. This is not just you link up, I link up, we link up. They get 3 letters and call myself a party. They said that. We stop the opposition call and have the PNM, the government. We have the government answering questions as the opposition was supposed to do. That's the opposition job. I'll tell you something. Greenvale in the flood. You see all them 1%ers who run outside there and giving out. I watching my partners and them, my family, the half Syrian side of me was want to feel proud because you're outside there and you're pelting out little money now because you need to make sure you drop toilet paper and corned beef. I watch 2 Syrians leading the charge and I tell myself, hey, proud of them. But then I ask myself, how did John Rahal as Minister of Agriculture end up with so much Caroni land? How did John Rahal, the Minister of Agriculture under Manning and the PNM that shut Caroni down, end up with so much Caroni land for himself and he multitudes of companies? That alone should call for a commission of inquiry. What went on there? But stick a pin. Greenvale has exposed the fact that there is nothing in this country safeguarding the people from a marauding government. The PNM bought back Caroni lands from John Rahal, a PNM former minister, financier, friend. The PNM bought back state land from John Rahal, reminiscent of what Rahal do in Tobago as Milsherv, Rahal in the church, and they want to say, Philip, why are you calling with name? Somebody have to call your name. Something in this country have to be looking after the people's interests. How did the Rahal family end up with so much Caroni land? How? What was the system? What was the transparent and public offering of land that allowed the Rahal family to end up? I asking about South Park. You see, if you get acreages free, you could build malls too. If you get acreages of prime property free, you could go and get bank money if you need bank money. Some of these fellows don't need bank money. But if you need bank money, you could say, well, look, I have land. How did Rahal end up with all that land? How? And I need to ask the question, but I'm sticking a pin there. But I want them to know, I want them to hear me. I want to know how you end up with all that Caroni land. Every one of those strip malls that building in Chaguanas is being built on corruption. We need an inquiry. We need a public inquiry as to who was picking up public property and handing it to friends and family. Under what terms and conditions? Under what circumstances? Stick that pin. Greenvale was built on a floodplain. There is documentation in Trinidad and Tobago that tells people where Greenvale was built, where it was built, should never be housing. There was a time they tried to give Greenvale, well, not Greenvale, but that land to black farmers. And they said, no, it floods, it's waterlogged, it serves no purpose. But the PNM bought scrubland from Rahal at a premium price. We need to know the price. And I want to tell you, Greenvale requires a criminal inquiry as to what was done to the people who bought property in Greenvale under false pretenses, under dubious circumstances. But Keith Rowley as Prime Minister cannot call that inquiry. Guess why? Guess why? If I tell you this tonight, guess why Keith Rowley as Prime Minister cannot call that inquiry? You know why? Because Keith Rowley was the Minister of Housing that did the deal with Rahal. Keith Christopher Mugabe Sabga Rowley, king of the infidels, first black Syrian. He was the one who did the deal as Minister of Housing with Rahat. Plot thickens. Why doesn't then we say, well, fine, let's turn to the UNC? Because the UNC then could call an inquiry. No. No, they can't. Like the same UNC who under Chandra Sharma, who under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who, when they realized the madness that Faris Arawi did with Manning and one Alexandra Place, instead of calling for an inquiry and prosecution of Faris Arawi, Chandra Sharma realized, wait now, we could make our money too. We could break off something for ourselves inside of here. I hear numbers like $85 million to outfit and equip one Alexandra Place that's still renting to this country unused. That to this day, still renting to this country unused. That when the deal was signed, there was no town and country approval for the building that was built there. But the Prime Minister and the government at the time signed a deal. Kamla Prasad Bisesa's government, Rudal Monilal's HDC, completed and gave out Greenvale. No moral authority on either side of the bandit divide, that is the cancerous corruption, that is the PNM and the UNC, who are manipulated and operated by the 1%. Watching Kamla pose with young stunter Nicholas Sabga straight out of school, look, Guardian Media to run. He ain't know he asked from his neighbor ass, but he running Guardian Media into the ground. But everybody know that kind of media dead. Every now and then, you get all because police beat up Charan in UE and Akash there inside of there pushing himself. Every little time you get because something happened. But other than that, it done. That kind of media done. But watching Kamla dress up for Diwali, stunting inside Sabga Media, is to tell you, we looking, she looking. Let me not say we because it is cut and chop my videos. She looking for the 1% to say, it's your time now. So we will never get anything like justice. And we will never get anything like an inquiry because Kamla and Keith Rowley dealing with the same criminals in the 1%. And that is our reality. That is Trinidad and Tobago's truth from one extreme to the other. We have never had, we had one brief opportunity. Now, as give A.N.R. Robinson his stick for his going to Africa and coming back as the Ule of Ife. But by then, all of them was chatter in his ears, chatter, Pandey going with the Indians, anything in the black vote. Don't let the PNM come back. The PNM with the 3 seats building back, roll, Manning starting a cult of personality. And all Robbie here is take the black vote. Get the black vote. If you don't have the black vote, you lost. Because Pandey take the Indians and gone in 1988. You remember that? 86 they win. 86 they win. 33-3. Massive victory. Routed the PNM. 2 years later, Pandey say are taking the Indians and gone. Club 88-4. So Robbie now left with the rump of the NAR minus the Indian vote. Minus the Indian vote. So the only thing that he could do is try to get himself ingratiated with the black vote. Went to Africa and come back a chief. Had himself elected a chief. But I want to tell you, for that 5 years under the NAR, something like a change was trying. Something like a difference was happening. Under the NAR, we was looking to deal with the issues. We actually got back money from Shell. In the bribery that was the Tesoro scandal, that money came back. You all don't remember this. Because this is what was being debated when Abu Bakr stormed the Red House and TTT. This is what was being debated. They were talking about building a statue to Jean Miles. You see, Trinidad had pre and post 1990 as its reality. And the people who were behind the PNM and the UNC funded that invasion of the parliament and the media. Because Abu Bakr himself couldn't do this. And he intimated to that for years. And it is the only time that both Manning and Pandey, Friday, July 27, 1990, coincidentally, Patrick Manning and Bastio Pandey were both absent from the parliament. I ain't dwelling on that. I'm not dwelling on that. I'm not dwelling on that. I'm not dwelling on the Scott drug report. I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago, you need a government to come to power and redo a drug report. We need a commission of inquiry into the drug trade. There are international media stories about the drug trade in Trinidad and Tobago, but we ain't talking about it here. Man with little 2x4 cloth store, own 500 house, multiples of businesses. During the recession that collapsed the country in the 80s, only a certain type of people made money. Those with some kind of connections. If we do not get a drug report, if we do not get a commission of inquiry into what took place, we will never know. And you cannot build good structures on faulty ground. You cannot build, you cannot make an honest, decent, law-abiding Trinidad and Tobago on a criminal empire. And that's what Trinidad is. Trinidad's 1%. And they know it. They know of each other. That they're a band of criminals. They've been involved in illegal, immoral, and unethical businesses. This is not a nation where the rule of law has been allowed to function. This is a country where who dares wins and who vexed loss. And nobody in the PNM or the UNC or any of the people that from the PNM or the UNC in any public offices have the moral authority to act. Nobody. And the last time the people got distracted with a Congress of the People, the Congress of the People went in there to stunt. The Congress of the People was like, you know, I don't want to say it too bad, but it was like one big fart. And I was in it. So I could tell you that when we finally see office, when we finally see a partnership, and we get into government, instead of standing on all the things that we said we were going to stand on and do all the things that we were going to do to make Trinidad and Tobago a better place, all of them, to a man, run for position. I want this, I want that. Carolyn, Dukaran, Tony, Joseph, Tony, Prakash Ramada, it was a mad scramble at the top to get position and ministry and state board, and a mad scramble at the bottom to get CPEP and URP jobs. And the Congress of the People, that was supposed to be the country's last best chance, and made a commitment to the nation to hold the UNC, to hold them and keep them honest. It was all a lie. It was all a farce. It was all a complete farce. Now we have to decide this as a nation, as a people. We have to decide where we're going from here. We have to. Because if we do not have a plan that rescues Trinidad and Tobago, I want you to picture a piece of dead meat in the jungle. And I want you to picture the Chinese lion and the 1% hyenas, both have it in its jaws and fighting to rip it apart to see who could get the biggest piece. Somebody sent Butch Stewart with some PR to say, if all you don't stop being political, I'm not coming. Butch Stewart, we don't want you here. This is not politics. This is fact. We think that it is a criminal act. What our Prime Minister is trying to do, take prime Tobago real estate and hand it to you so that you and him, in whatever criminal conspiracy you all have concocted, taking $2.7 billion from a treasury that cannot afford it, to enrich you and him and whichever listed as investors as part of that conspiracy, we do not want it, sir. If that is not a stunt, if you have ethics, if you have morals, which I doubt, you can't be dealing with these jackasses and have any kind of morality about you. But just in case I am misreading you and you're a man of integrity, I tell you, sir, drop it. Tobago is being looted from inside. The Mason Hall bandit is leading the charge to take prime Tobago property and $2.7 billion from our treasury and build something named Sandals. All you bring in is a name. We don't want it, sir. We have no interest in it. We've watched over the past 3 years a systematic destruction of the entire tourist sector in Tobago. Deliberate. The shutdown of the Superfast Galatia alone should have been sufficient reason to fire this government. But the people, not having choice, are stuck for choice. Because to watch Rowley and watch Kamala is to watch two sides of the same freaking jackass. Neither of them have any moral authority. When I tell you, I despise these people. I sit down in a court case and a man bring something I say and say this is evidence of malice. I cannot deny it. I despise these people. I despise what they stand for. I despise what they've done in this country. I despise the fact that their little offspring running around this country trying to pretend like they are the beneficiaries of some successful business model when all it is their parents are high-class, white-collar, well-connected criminals. I despise it. I despise what it did to the country. I despise how easy it was for police to kill 5 little black boys in Chumakak. But when Colm Imbot's son was up in Laventille doing whatever he was up in Laventille doing when he lost the phone, if police had opened fire and Colm's son had passed in the rush, or did I think the same? Driving through Laventille and your van break down. Miss me with your bullshit. I never take you on because I don't care to take you on. You're a small fry in a small pond. But don't bullshit the nation. You was up in Laventille for a reason and we should have found out why. If Faris Arawi, 2 gun-posing stunters, had ended up in Chumakak Lyman with their partners, playing all PS3, PS4, smoking all kush, and police open fire, how did I feel? If 2 pink skin had come out on them stretchers, all you see in the hospital yard. If all 5 wasn't black, what would you say? But this is a country. I had to tell a man today, Kerry Grant. No, I didn't say it because I watch and I see. He have some PNM trolls that follow him close, so I leave that alone because you can't bark at every passing car. But Kerry Grant asked why they don't give to the icons before they pass. Why they give after? Referring, of course, to the passing of Winston Bailey, the mighty Shadow. And I have to tell Kerry Grant, because it's a stunt. They don't want to give it to Shadow, to ask with Shadow, to ask with Sparrow and Kitchener and Chalky and Crawford, and to ask with all of them, the government, the people, they don't care. When you're dead, if you have a name and you're going to be in the media for 3 days, climb up on that corpse. What we can give him? Give him a Trinity Cross. Give him a Trinity Crescent. Give him a doctorate. Fred, give him anything you can give him. Build a house in his name. Name a plane after him. Let me just pose for the media and say, we care. And Trinidadians just buy that bullshit wholesale. Give me more. Put some whipped cream on my bullshit because we take that crap forever. We don't ever stand up and say, boy, miss me with the bullshit because the day we did, they'd stop the stunting. But there are little fellas like Anthony Morgan Beach, these little, boy, I don't want to tell you, I need to give myself some parliamentary privilege. All you have to put us in government. You want to fix this nation, they have some things I can't say outside here. Fellas like Kwame Nkrumah are itching to make all money. So everything is a defamation now. And you have to go and fight to prove that you were right. That you had justification in saying it. But while you're waiting to say it to prove, you're spending loud legal dollars. And they know they're playing a game. And I have no state contracts. And I have no state board appointments. And I have no access to state money. So when I fight it with mine. Which is an unfair injustice in and of itself. In and of itself. But as a fight for another day, at some point, I want fellas like Kwame to hear me. When a doctor watch you in your eyes and tell you, you or your loved ones, partner, it metastasized. Stage 4. Don't jump off the bed and cuss. Take your jam. Take your jam. Because those who have power and abuse power, it is them. I tell you something, I could call people name in this country that see some nastiness. Hafiz Karamat smell rotten like when he was dead, you know. Some people beg, you know, they beg, oh God, God have money. Don't help. Buy your flowers. Buy your freaking flowers. And I don't care, because I tell people, watching in my lifetime, I have been the founder of, and I've been privileged. I don't want it to sound like a boast. I've been blessed to have been the founder of the Jericho Project and the Progressive Empowerment Party. 25 years of public service for free. When Michael Kwame watches me in a court and I watch him, he watches a man who has given 25 years of his life to his country, to the betterment of the orphans, the disabled, and the homeless. That is what I have done with my time. I have used my political activism to the benefit and the easement of others, not to get state board and contract and brief. So when I watch you, brother, and you watch me, we're different animals. I'm not here to feast on this country. I have been giving back for the past 25 years. And I said, if Sunday was the first time, because since the Progressive Empowerment Party formed, I have been very deliberate in keeping it and the Jericho Project separate, because these sons of bitches will attack the Jericho Project politically for work that it does, and the Jericho Project does good work. When the families, when the caregivers from Lady Ho Choi home pull up in that savannah, and then children, these children suffering from cerebral palsy, but they come out that bus and they happy because they know this is Kids for a Ton every year. For the past 15 years, for them, it's their Christmas, it's their party. Treat them like royalty. We serve them and party them and make sure they have a good time. Ask the people who's come and volunteer and work. They have judges and lawyers and doctors and even ministers whose children has come and volunteer in that event just to feel that love. And to watch these little orphans. I'm talking to one, he's 18 years old. He's 18 years old. We talking now about me trying to get him a job with a family member because he's interested in being in the food industry. And I know this boy since he's five as an orphan. And I've been working with that home, with all the homes. And I felt proud on Sunday for the first time because we needed members of the Progressive Empowerment Party. We needed volunteers. Because of the flood and because of all of the crap that happened, we needed to grab whoever we could get. And I watched members of the PEP who work very hard on political activism with me, who've seen that hard work on this side and never understood how hard we worked as the Jericho Project. And the Jericho Project members got to see that the PEP members is just like them. People of heart, people of commitment and love and civic mindedness and compassion, people who would stop and care and tie the shoelace of somebody who will never in life be able to pay them back. Never be able to do. When I tell you, as I laugh, I say, when I go by the homeless and they talk, they tell me I voted for you. As after joke with them, you have an ID card. You know where you voted. Where's your address? You're homeless. They bring in voting card for you here. They bring in polling card for you outside here. And laugh and joke, and they're laughing and joking with me. And I'm not saying this. God is my witness. This was never, if I didn't have to get into this blasted politics to solve the problems that cause, that make their lives so hard, I'd never be. When I tell you, politics in this country makes me sick. The people who are involved in politics in this country are some of the most despotic demons, evil, nasty bastards you will ever, when you talk to them, when you're now coming up the ranks in politics in Trinidad, and you hear what these people has been talking about one to the other, how they be laughing at you, how they be laughing at the average voter. I used to go, UNC, PNM, go after the meetings, go after the public meetings, go by this one house and that one house, and all of them they're lining. And how they be laughing and bad talking. The normal, everyday people of the country. When I tell you I feel sick that I am in politics. This is not your grandmother and your grandfather politics. When they tell you that, say, listen, this is not that. This is real rescue. This is change from the ground up. This is a political organization. When you watch and you see that even the color orange that we chose for our color has a reason and a purpose, and it ties in with the name, the Progressive Empowerment Party, and it ties in with the slogan, one people under one flag, and you see our icon is people under one umbrella. You realize that this organization was built purposefully and deliberately with a mission. We are the only political organization in this country's history that formed with a manifesto. We didn't have to come and study and look and tell you, well, we are trying to gather information and we'll be coming back to you. No, sir. We told you the where, the what, the why, the who, the how. We have a plan for every single thing, and it's pissing them off. So the media have to hide us. The media have to make sure they don't hear Philip's voice. When we found out that it's $35,000 for a live broadcast, we told Janice, book it. We will get the $35,000. The stinking son of a bitch in CNC3 told Janice, because it's politics, we raise it to $100,000. Every other political party paying $35,000 to buy airtime, that for the Progressive Empowerment Party is $100,000. You see the lengths that they will go to stop this movement. I am hearing others parroting what we say because they realize the things that we said. The first time I said it, people say, Philip, you sure you could say that? You sure you could say that you're going after people like that? That you're going to bring them to justice and get our money back? That you will follow them around the earth to get our money back? That lawfulness and justice will be the two pillars upon which we rebuild this country? When they heard us say that for the first time, when they hear me call names and ask questions of big people in this society, Philip, you sure you could say that? Someone went and hide. Someone went and hide. Others say, you know what? We will do it in a more loving way. We will come and tell you that even though it's a war zone, we'll bake cookies and we'll bring milk and we'll make the war enjoyable. Miss me with that bullshit. We come to end the war. We come to unite the races. We come to eradicate poverty. We come to balance the scales. We come to make sure that every creed and race and religion and whatever social differentiation exists, we come to balance and level and open and make sure that every child from Goodwood Park to Westmoreland to Valsayn to Morvan, Beetham, Laventille and Sealots to Enterprise and Embacadere and La Hoqueta and Talparo to Palatouvier in Tobago. We want to make sure that every single child have the same chance and the same access in this society. We want to make sure that the price of a house is brought back into the reach of the average person. That's our mission. We say, like a rising tide, we are going to lift all boats. The minimum wage earner and those living in poverty and squalor will be our first public. We are going to them. We are going to identify what is keeping them trapped in a cycle of poverty and working with them, break that cycle. We will liberate and emancipate the generations coming out now that have two choices, hustle and dead or take slave wages and suffer. We will make sure that we will eradicate that as an option or a reality in this country. That everybody who wants a good and decent job will have a job, because it is a function of the state to make sure that there are more jobs than people. And those who have a job, if you want a home from a minimum wage earner, go up. And we ain't buying your vote. I watch a sweetheart darling, she catching she ass, she children catching the ass and has helped all the work at help. And I watch a next man come along and buy she vote and she go on, no problem. No problem, I guarantee you two things. One, the man who buy her vote, by next year, this time, them not in politics no more. And two, when she come back home, I will embrace her with open arms. I know what it is like to be hungry. I have been homeless in my life. I have gone days without food, so I don't judge nobody. I tell people I had a Forrest Gump kind of life. God make me walk this journey through every valley of the shadow of death he could have found for me. So that when I talk to people, I talk in from a position of experience. I know what a hungry belly sounds like late in the night. I know that well. The Progressive Empowerment Party is a mission to rescue this country. That is what it is. It is not politics as usual. This is not us coming to stunt with Campbell and clink glasses with Rowley. This is us coming to bring relief, to bring justice, to bring equality, to unite the races, to undo the madness that Eric Williams did to this country. I sit down and I study. Of all the words in the dictionary, you could have found to make our national watchwords, you choose discipline, tolerance, and production. You weren't liberating people. You wasn't liberating a nation. You weren't uniting the people. you were making your own slaves. Eric Williams, you were making your own well-conditioned, attentive, obedient slaves. Discipline, tolerance, production. You were making worker drones. What happened to unity, respect, and excellence? Imagine those as national watchwords. Unity, respect, and excellence. Imagine a nation set on fire for excellence in everything that we do. Imagine a nation built on unity, every creed and race, really and truly, in fact, finding an equal place. Imagine a nation built on respect, where everybody is Mr. and Miss and Uncle and Auntie. Remember those days? Only remember those days when we was growing up, and if it wasn't Uncle and Auntie and good morning or good evening, you get ears twist or a box. You remember them days? We need back a country where it makes sense to be a citizen. In Trinidad and Tobago, it doesn't. You grow up and you get to a point of awareness, and you look around and you realize all animals in this farm are not equal. Some more equal than others. You realize that. You come to an age of realization. You realize that something broken in this nation, deliberately, it keeps you back. You could only go so far. Well, I, Philip Edward Alexander, said no to that. And I broke through every obstacle that was ever put in my way. I've had my parents sit me down time and again and tell me this one say this and that one say that. And I say, Mommy and Daddy, you all know you didn't raise a fool. You didn't raise a fool. I am not going to embarrass you. My father, my mother used to tell me at the start, you sure this politics thing, boy? You sure about this politics thing? Ask everybody. Those two, my mother and father, Jericho Project, sit down there for the day because they want to be there and be a part of what we're doing. They all know, my father especially, it's difficult for him to move around, but he sat there and he was a part of it because he needs to be. My mother wanted to take a picture with the tree that we planted 10 years ago, the Ilang Liang tree. We call it the Jericho tree, across from the Archbishop House. She couldn't believe how big it got. She wanted a picture with her son by that tree. We've done this. We, all of us, not just me. I may have been a catalyst. I may have been someone to open doors and to say, we go this way. But it is the people that stood up and said, yes, we do this. It is they that made it happen in every aspect of what we've accomplished. And I will never forget that. There are people who could tell you that anybody who's ever helped me in my life, I don't forget. And I don't ever stop trying to pay it back. Hundreds of times past the bill and the debt paid, and I still pay. Because I know, and I want to tell you this, my memory just as good for those who have put obstacles in my path. Don't come to me and say, but we was always friends. I know was a friend. Don't come to me and tell me, I was there with you. Trust me, I know all who there with me. I know all who there fighting. I know all who helping to empty the pit, and I know all who throwing dirt back. I watch it and I see it. We working hard, very, very hard. This is not shits and giggles. This is not pelt out a video once every 2 weeks and throw a couple $1,000 behind it to boost it, to force it into your news feed so you could watch it. This is real fact. If it is one thing you have to admit, that no matter how you feel about us, and I tell people this is not about liking me. Long after this political career is over, I am going to fade. I am not one of those superstars, ego sons of bitches. I don't want people applauding me as I walk down the road. I want to come, do my part, fix what I could fix. A lady told me in the Jericho Project event, when I was stacking the chairs after, she couldn't believe that how we operate. Like she couldn't tell who was boss. She couldn't tell who was in charge. Because the higher up you went, the harder they worked. We didn't sit down. We didn't rest. We made sure that those little orphans had a time and a half. Treated them with love and dignity and respect. I want you to know, and we didn't ask none of you all for anything. We have that locked and organized now. We don't get no state funding. We've never had a bank account. You believe that? The Jericho Project has fed tens of thousands of people, maybe more. And we've never had a bank account. And we've never begged for $1. Believe that? Imagine this country if all of us found inside of us the seeds to stand together, one and another, sister and brother. Imagine this country if your neighbor was your neighbor and that you was a neighbor to them. We don't live so. We lost that. We're losing this. Greed and ego and stunting robbing us of this. We've become a nation of posers. We want shiny shoes and creases to cut bread and spinning rims, if spinning rims is still a thing. We dress like we in an army, going to party and get drunk and high and stoned and say we drunk and we high and we stoned. And we don't even know where we are, where we're going, and we don't care because they tell us to say that we're happy. So we're saying that we're happy, but we're not. We're miserable. We have some of the highest counts of mental illness in the world, in Trinidad and Tobago. Many of the people that you are liming with, that you are drinking with, that you are hanging out with, that sharing your posts and you sharing theirs, bipolar and have anxiety and depression and feeling unloved and unwanted in this broken and badly damaged society. We do not treat each other with respect and love anymore. We treat each other as a means to an end, and all of us climbing up on one another have no blasted idea where we're climbing up to go. We don't sit down and just love each other anymore. It's not a shit talk and a corner line and a win ball match. Everything now is a stunt. You must have it nicer than me. So I just start off with the least. That's why I tell people I have no brands. I have no jewelry. When you see me, I am the most humble dresser. I drive a van. I sold my last van and bought a new van. I don't want nothing that you could say that I was a big shot with. I don't want that stunt. I don't want that style. I hope and I pray that everybody in this country could wake up to that example and stop buying greed and focus on need. And anytime that you could help somebody else, I want to tell you something. The psychiatrist will tell you the best cure for anxiety and depression and bipolar and mental illness, help somebody in need. When you dig deep and you sacrifice, I know this is not the kind of things you want to hear. People want to hear Mark Boss, call them name, throw them aside, but light them up. But we have to fix this country. And it is us that have to live here. Yes, you have to vote us into office, but we can't light them up when we're in office. When we're in office, we have to work together. We have to come and have a frank and honest conversation that our society is broken. If you live in a street and you don't know everybody in your street, that is not neighbors. I grew up, I write in a book about O'Connor Street and I could tell you the name of everybody in every house. That's how I grew up. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's how we are supposed to live. The thing that people has come here and talk about us Trinbagonians is how easygoing we are. That you could bounce we up in licensing office or tea and tech in the line and we bust a shit up. But it's getting harder. People getting tired. We've been abused, misused for too long. We've been led astray and lied to. Politically, we have been broken, manhandled, and abused. The people in this country trust nobody. My friend Rudy comes to the PEP meeting and says that all the time. That his new name on Facebook is Isaac Hunt. Don't say it fast. But he changed his name. But he says it. Trust is leaving the society. And when trust is gone, what do? A nation of bosses and workers. A nation of landlords and renters. A nation of bar owners and drinkers. A nation of food sellers and eaters. But we don't have no share. And we don't have no stake. We just live to consume and work and die. That is not a real country. A A real country is predicated on every citizen having hope and opportunity. That is a real country. And Trinidad and Tobago, more than any nation in this world, has every right to be a real country. We can have it if we wanted it. And all we had to do is to decide to vote for it. I am not saying to you that I am the best, the brightest, the tallest, the fastest. I'm not saying any of those things. What I'm saying to you is that I am willing to speak truth to power at every turn and at every point. I am willing to be as honest with you. I will take my stick and my licks, and I'm standing here still fighting to show that there is space in the center, that there is a place for everybody, that we could step aside from the racist, cultic politics and become one people again, one real Trinbagonian people united in common cause, where we are electing to office people who understand the well-being of every single person in this country is the function and purpose of government. If we got to there again, if we became one people under one flag, we could start immediately, overnight, to transform this country into a masterful place where every creed and race could finally find an equal place. Register and put them on. If they don't see, put them on. State your finger and put them on. Rescue the country. Put them on. Put them up in total skull and under the state. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power. Terminate the reign. Let's put our country together again. Today we serve the Commissioner of Police, hand-delivered by our National Security Advisor, Richard Blaze, to the Commissioner of Police, Captain Gary Griffith, Commissioner of Police, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Police Administration Building, corner Edward and Sackville Streets, Port of Spain. Copies of this were sent to every media house in Trinidad and Tobago. Look and see if they say anything about it. Dear Mr. Commissioner, on far more than numerous occasions, I have had cause to raise the issue of illegal vending in the country and the seeming double standard when it comes to the handling of those who break the law. I have observed members of the public routinely arrested, charged, and prosecuted for illegal vending, while a large private commercial interest has been allowed to do so with what seems like impunity. Included with this letter are copies from all the municipal corporations that have so far answered my freedom of information request as to the status of vendors employed by Kiss Baking, trading as Quellos and or other names or brands, as well in different jurisdictions, all of which have responded that no version of that company or any of its aliases or sub-companies or brands have been given any permission whatsoever or license to sell or vend on the nation's roads, streets, sidewalks, byways, lay-by shoulders, or otherwise, and are literally in breach of the law. Mr. Commissioner, I draw your attention to a case last week where a person named Pamela Mitchell, appeared before a Chaguanas magistrate accused of vending illegally, was charged with 5 offenses hours after she was arrested on Tuesday and her goods, including 358 newspapers, seized. According to the media, the charges laid that on Tuesday at Main Road, Chaguanas, Pamela Mitchell obstructed the free passageway, unlawfully pitched a stall, displayed products for sale, and offered a quantity of marketable commodities, including cigarettes, newspapers, candies, and PTSC bus tickets. She was granted $10,000 bail, and the matter is ongoing. Mr. Commissioner, I ask you, what is the difference between Miss Mitchell and every vendor employed or subcontracted by Kiss Baking Company Quaylos, who do this same exact thing at multiples of locations all through the country every day of the week? Based on the above and the accompanying correspondence, Mr. Commissioner, I formally request that the matter concerning illegal vending by Kiss Baking Company trading as Quaylos be addressed so as to bring a semblance of the even-handed application of the rule of law back to a society desperately in need of such. Your urgent attention is appreciated. Sincerely, Philip Edward Alexander. And we've been pursuing this matter for 3 years now. 3 years now, Kiss Baking Company has been able to successfully elude justice, have been allowed to break the law. This is our last step, approaching the commissioner who said, and his own words are, that justice will be even-handed and that all who break the law will feel the full brunt of the law. So he now has this letter in his hands. And I am going to watch and I see what takes place from here. Because the country that we want cannot be built on one law for one and another law for others. Trinidad and Tobago needs to respect itself. We need to respect ourselves. We are all entitled to the same fair treatment, equality, and justice under all organizations of state. We will not get that as long as we continue to vote for political organizations that are working against that premise, that belong to other interests, focused on different agendas. If you want a better country, your vote will decide that. You have all the power. You get to say, like every single raindrop that together caused that flood, you and every citizen of this country have the ability to vote a flood of relief to rescue this country and consign the bandit clans, the criminal cancers, the corrupt and racist PNM and UNC to the dustbin of this nation's history. This Saturday at noon, today is Monday, and I'm telling you, this Saturday at noon again, we spill out into the yard, we spill out into the street. This Saturday at noon at 19 Stanmore Avenue, the Patriots gather. This Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue, the civic-minded, those who want a better country and are willing to work for it, we gather and we put ourselves together to that mission. If you would like a better country and have the time and the ability to spare, please join us. All are invited. Yes, Nazir Mohammed, especially you. Trinidad and Tobago, we have other big things happening. We are opening on the 17th of November our South office. Yes, PEP goes South, and it will be in a massive rally, and everybody are asked to mark your calendar and to join us. There will be a caravan going down from 19 Stanmore Avenue to that meeting. So if you would like to carpool, if you would like to climb in a maxi, if you would like to come and join the caravan, mark your calendar, November 17th at 6 p.m. We will be leaving Port of Spain at 4 p.m. on that day to take the caravan mass rally to launch the South office on a public We are paying for a live broadcast, so those who can't get out of the house could see it. And we're starting in South. 4 weeks after that, we're opening in Barataria, the North Office. 4 weeks after that, we're opening on Tampuna Road in Arima. 4 weeks after that, we're opening opposite Triple K Bakery in Chaguanas, the central hub. And 4 weeks after that, the Progressive Empowerment Party will be wheels down in Tobago. We are committed to establishing at the four corners of this country opportunities for all to stand together and say, because a time will come and questions will be asked, where were you? Where were you when Trinidad was in need? And all of us will be able to say, I was in Tampuna Road Office, I was in South Manahambre, I was in Barataria, I was in Tobago, I was in Chaguanas. I was part of the mission to rescue. I was triage. I was on the ground. I was handing out flyers. There are members of this party that don't stop, you know, like Energizer Buddies. They don't stop, boss. Boss, we will stop when we win. That's the message I've been hearing. I'm watching the teams. We're launching a raffle. You all know this week, the Pep Grand Christmas Raffle is launching on Wednesday. And it is drawing on the 15th of December at the PEP annual Christmas party. All members invited. If you've not yet joined this party, peptt.com, you can join easy as pie. Go on peptt.com and join the party, or just message any of the usual suspects that you see on the wall. Engage us. You could message me and I'll put you on to the right people and they'll bring you on board. Membership costs $20. $20, and you get your nice PEP card. Yeah? So join. Come and be a part of the fastest growing political party in this country's history. We are going to be 2 years old on the 18th of January 2019, and we are hoping to have our first carnival celebration anniversary party all in one. So you can mark your calendar for that as well. Mostly everything we do, we try to do as a fundraiser to keep the lights on and to keep adding to the war chest to be ready for elections, because we have no deep pocket financiers amongst those that are driven by pursuing their own agendas. There are some good people who help this party, and I must say, the day they give me permission to thank them publicly, I will do so with fervor and vigor. There are some people who never hesitate to dig deep and make a contribution to help us do what we do. And I thank them, and you know yourself. And I thank everybody. And I thank you, those who just send a $10. There are people who every month I get a notification from PayPal, you got your 10 US. And I know that those people do have to give, and they give in. And as Khalil Gibran said, there are those who have little and give all. These are the believers in life and the bounty of life, and their coffers will never empty. And it is behind the eyes of such as these God speaks and smiles upon the earth. We thank you all. We thank everybody in any way who contribute in any way to any of the things we do. This is a mission to benefit all of us. This is a collective. This is a train. This is a family. We call ourselves the Orange Army, the Orange Tsunami. We're coming with it. We're coming with passion. We want a better country. We want to create hope and opportunity for everybody. We want your children and your grandchildren to have opportunities in life, to become, to reach their full potential. I love seeing my Trinbagonian people arrive in foreign countries, and they don't just survive, they thrive, they go incandescent. Foreigners can't put up with the amount of passion a Trinbagonian brings. You could imagine if this was a country that gave our people the opportunity to take root and grow. Not everybody born to be a superstar, but those who are, shouldn't they get the opportunity? All of our athletes, all of our artists, all of our musicians, all of our scientists, our inventors, our farmers, our teachers, our writers, all of our people, everybody has something that they want to bring to the collective table, but our table is broken, and we need to fix that. And we need to fix that together. We need to wake up in a country again where we feel that I am home. This is my home. I own this. We don't feel that now, but we could fix it. This is our country, and the mission is to rescue it, to win the next election convincingly, to govern this country for the first time in its history, to the benefit of all the people properly. Yeah? Until we speak again, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.